everybody, and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise. And in today's video, we're going to be going over programming exercise number 8. Now, programming exercise number 8 says, considering the following function main, write the definition of the function input array that prompts the user to input 20 numbers and stores the numbers into alpha. B, write the definition of the function double array that initializes the elements of a beta array that replaces all of the elements with alpha. Well, actually, it copies all of the elements of alpha, puts them into beta, and then doubles every single one of those elements. And make sure that you prevent the function from modifying the elements of alpha. And write the definition of the function copy alpha beta that stores alpha into the first 5 rows of matrix and beta into the last 5 rows of matrix. Make sure that you prevent the function from modifying the elements of alpha and beta. Write the definition of the function print array that prints any one-dimensional array of type int. 15 elements per line. Write a C++ program that tests the function main and the functions discussed in parts A through D. Add additional functions such as printing a 2-dimensional array as needed. Now, if you do not actually understand what I mean is what this function wants you to do is you will input these numbers, these 20 numbers, and then after you input them, all of these numbers will be stored into an array, and that array will be called alpha. And now it's going to have 20 of those in there. Oh, this is also supposed to be of type int. And now int beta 20. And int matrix 10, 4. So what basically what's going to do is it's going to store all these values into alpha, and then it's going to copy all of these elements into beta, and then using these numbers, they will actually double each and every single one of those numbers. And then they're going to print that out they're going to print out alpha and beta first in a one-dimensional array. And then they're going to print out all of these numbers in a 2-dimensional array. Anyways, let's get started. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to copy down everything I have here. First, you need to copy down IOManip and IOStream. You also have to have these numbers. I'm going to copy down those numbers because those are going to be our input numbers. And you also need to copy down these arrays. So, 5 more seconds. Okay, now that we're done with that, we can get to declaring the functions or initializing the functions that the book wanted us to do, what the programming exercise wanted us to do. So now the first thing that you need to do is you need to write in a couple of void functions. Actually, all of these are going to be void. So now we're going to have input, since we're dealing with arrays, when we are storing values into arrays, we need to make them void functions because you can't return arrays in a function. So we write int list, comma, int size. And then we have void double array constant int list 1 comma, int list 2. Make sure you write those normal brackets, and then int size. And then after, write in void copy alpha beta int to, oh no, yes, actually gonna be like this, print int to dim. Now here it's going to be 4, comma, constant int list 1. Oops, look like I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be int. After you're done with list 1, you comma, constant int list 2, comma, int rows, and now after you're done with that, you can then do void current array constant int list comma size. Oh, and this is also supposed to have int in it. Void print to dim constant int to mention 4, comma, int rows. Now that we're done with all of that, we can move on to our main function. Now, our main function is going to be very simple. All we need to do is write in we need to declare actually all of these functions in here. So we need to input array alpha, comma 20, CL alpha what was it actually supposed to be? Alpha after reading 20 numbers and now print array alpha comma 20 CL, and then right here you're just gonna put in a bunch of you're just gonna put in a bunch of these. So we're just gonna put in a full line. I don't know if that's enough. I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then we're gonna end down. So what we're currently doing right now, if you do not know, we're pretty much bringing in all of the values from alpha. Actually all of the input values into alpha. And now right here, we are going to take in the beta. We're going to take in the values for beta, meaning we're going to see out. Actually, no, we're just going to first do double array alpha, comma, beta, comma 20. C out beta after a call to double array window. Print array beta, comma 20. And then we see out, and then we enter roughly the same amount of, no, I accidentally clicked enter. You use about the same amount of asterisks I used here. I think that's enough. I don't know, we'll try it out and see if that's good. And after that, you could do the same thing, endo, endo. And then we can do copy alpha, beta, matrix, comma, alpha, comma, beta, comma, 10. After you plug in all of these values, then you can move on and write in CL matrix after a call to copy alpha beta endo. Then you do print two dimensions matrix comma 10. After you do that, you can see out after that okay, now that we're done with that, we can move on to writing the actual functions. Now keep in mind the actual functions are slightly complicated, right? But they're just normal day-to-day array functions that you will use. You should all be familiar with them. So first up, we need to have void input array. Excuse me, no hiccups. Just copy and paste what's up here. After you're done with that, you can write in int I, CL, enter, and then it'll say size integers endo. And then you do for I is equal to 0. Actually, you don't even have to put this right here. I'm actually just going to delete this. But you can do it if you want. You can just but you can just write in the int I in here. Not a lot of people do it, but I prefer to do it this way because it saves me a lot of space. And now while I is less than size, I plus plus UCIN list. With I as the element, or as I as the index. And so now we need to declare, so this is just the input array. Most of you will already know exactly what this is, but if you don't know, the I basically increases after each repetition, and for each repetition, it goes up by one index, and that index, it pulls out that index from the CIN and stores it inside of that specified index in an array. Now after you're done with that, we can write go now to double array, which actually uses, it actually uses the exact same parameters. So let's just copy and paste this thing right there. Let's make that double array. Now we're gonna make and we're also actually no, sorry, the parameters are not the same. Oopsies. You actually don't have to write that stuff. Just copy and paste that. Shouldn't be too hard. After we're done with that, we move on. Just enter a couple of times, and then we do one of those. Now for the double array, you can write in for I, for int I is equal to 0, I is less than size, and then I plus plus. And then we have list 2, I is equal to 2 times list 1 with the same index of I. So that is all. That is a pretty simple copy function. Let's see if I missed anything. No, it doesn't seem like I did. Okay, that's great. Now that we're done with double array, the last thing we have to do, or actually one of the last things we have to do, is we need to go into void, copy alpha beta. Now what this is going to do, it's going to copy the alpha into the first 5 rows of this two-dimensional array, and then after it does that, it's gonna copy the last 5 rows of beta into this two-dimensional array as well. So this is just the copy from up here. Now we're going to get to calling the actual function. Now we need to make these two variables. These will both be placeholder variables. And now right here, we need to write in for I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, for j is equal to 0, and then j is less than 4, j plus plus, you will have 2 dimension I, j, which is equal to list 1, 4 times I plus j. Now, if you do not quite understand what this is, basically, j or I is the placeholder value for rows, and j is the placeholder value for columns. And what happens here is that since we're going over the, since these are the first couple of, and now there's going to be 4 elements in each row, meaning there's going to be 4 columns in total of the whole graph. I mean, two-dimensional array. And now, there's going to be 5 rows. Well, there's not going to be 5 rows, but we're only printing this out in the first 5 rows. Now, this 4 times is here for the rows. So basically, depending on what row you are, if you're on, what row you're on, you'll be at, let's say, row 0. Then you'll multiply that by row 0, and then you'll add j, and it'll tell you what column you are on. Okay? Now that we're done with this, we can go here and write in for, and we also could actually copy and paste what we have right here. Not that, just that part. And now, after we have that, we have 2 dimensions, and now it's going to be, and all we have to do here is switch that 5 with rows. I, j, which is list 2, 4 times I minus 5 plus j. And this right here actually works a lot like what we did up here, where we have the number of rows and we multiply it by I in order to get the placement. But this we have to subtract 5 from it, because in this case there's not going to be like a 5. There's going to be 0. It's actually going to start from the index of 0. And in this case, if we start from the index of 0, then we're just going to get j. But if we do not have that 5, then we're actually going to start from a completely different index. And that's not good. Okay, we're going to start at 20, I think. 20 plus whatever j is. So we're going to start at an index of 20, and that's like literally the end, if I'm correct. Anyways, now that we're done, this is actually the end of the function. It's a void function, of course, so you don't have to put in the return at the end. Now we have void print array, and now we have constant int list, comma, size, int, or actually no. Okay, yeah. For this case, I think it's a good idea to write an int. Now for I is equal to 0, we then write I is less than size I plus plus. We now have cout list I and now if I plus 1 percentage sign 15 is equal to 0, then we cout and L. Now this is just a standard cout function. Now this if statement right here is basically means, or it ensures that the end of a row it will enter and then it will continue on the next line. So basically, since each one of these rows, when we print it out, we'll have 15 so yes, this basically ensures that when you that this isn't gonna go all on one line. Like now this whole function isn't exactly tailored. These are all just really generic functions that you will find in a lot of C++ programs, like this one. This one I include because pretty much most functions, I mean most arrays, you don't want, when you print them out, you don't want them to just be lines of text. You don't want it to be like this, and then sometimes it's gonna keep on going and going and going, and then they have to scroll that way just to see the rest. But what this program does is that after 15 digits, it does that. Now it doesn't have any particular use in this program especially. Well, actually it kind of does, because when we do it, there's going to be like 20 digits at once, which I mean is fairly long, but it's really not that necessary. But this is just a good thing to do whenever you, it's just a good thing to do, especially in any program. Now keep in mind, none of these are actual, like, these are all pretty much just generic functions that you'll find. Some of these functions you do, however, have to tailor to make it your own. And now after you're done with that, you can cout and L. And now we can go to another function. And this one is going to be the final function, and it's going to be print 2 dimensions. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, I accidentally turned on caps lock. First we need to actually write down the function, so we need to write in print 2 dimensions, 2-dimensional array. And then we write constant int 2 dimension, and then we do that. Oopsies. And then 4, comma, int rows. And then we can write in, there's also supposed to be a void in front right there. And now you can write in for int I is equal to 0. That I is less than rows. And then I plus plus. And of course you're going to have j for int j, which is equal to 0. J is less than 4. J plus plus. And then you come here and then you write in cout set w 8 2 dimensions I j and you cout endo. Now that should be the end. Now we could run the program, build it and run it. Let's pull out this dialog and see if there's anything else wrong. Size. Let me find where that is. 25. Invalid conversion from int to int. And constant int and constant int. Well, I know the size has not been declared in the scope, where it's at 72. All I need to do is add in the int. Let me get back to this. This is a little bit confusing. Oh, wait a second. I think I know what's wrong here. Oh, for some reason I have 2 DIMs right there. Let me just remove that, and I think we should be able to run it correctly now. What's this? Copy alpha beta. Let's pull this log up. Invalid conversion of type. What? Oh, I think maybe I have to add one of these right there. Okay, yes, that was what I had to do. Okay, that's good. Now you just need to copy and paste what's up here. Control C. Control V. Enter. Alpha after reading 20 numbers. Let's bring this a little bit up here. This seems like it's working. Never mind. Did not look like it's working. Let's see what's wrong. Has to be something in the print. Because if you take a look here, everything's working just fine when we have these right there. So there must be something somewhat wrong when we are in this little function. That's why functions are so great. It's so easy to just divide if you have so easy to just pinpoint where problems are based on just where on your functions. Let's see. Oops, just realized I accidentally forgot to press build and run. Accidentally pressed normal run. Anyways, let's just copy and paste this. Let's check this out. There has to be something down here in this function specifically Here, that space. Oh, I think I actually know what I did wrong. This is supposed to be 5. Oh my, why didn't I? Now if I run this, let's just make sure that it's still there. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, it works. Okay, let's go. So you see, this is alpha after reading 20 numbers. So you see everything is going completely right? Beta after I call it to double array. Everything is doubled, all nice and neat. Matrix after a call to copy alpha beta, and everything is all right. That is great, actually. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great time doing this programming exercise with me and also going along with my debugging crusade. It was pretty fun to do it. I hope you guys have a good time. But remember, even if you guys are having a little bit of trouble in debugging, it's always great to take a break. I took a little 5-minute break before making my breakthrough, and it turned out to be pretty good. But I just need you to make sure that this does not you do not get mad, because anything that you do in life will frustrate you in some way or another. The only thing that you can do is try and ease that and make the goods look better than the bads. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.